What's good, y'all? Welcome to the video. This time of the Mafex Avengers Infinity War Thor. This has been like a long time coming. It's been delayed several times. It's one of those things where we didn't know if it was coming, if it'd be delayed, blah blah, yada yada yada. And it's actually nice to have it in hand. So it's one of those things where I was really looking forward to it, and I'm kind of excited because I was not disappointed. While there are some issues with it, I don't think it's one of those things that should turn you off to it, but you'll be able to decide that after watching the video, right? So yeah, let's jump into the figure. So real quick, here we are with Thor. It looks really good. I may have my lights a little too strong on it, so let's actually get a little softer look, a little zoom in, right? I don't know if you guys can see it, but the powered down version actually looks really nice. And just to show it side by side, here he is with his powered up Mafex version. So I have them side by side, so you can actually have a difference in seeing that even though they are the same figure, they almost have two completely different looks just by having different option parts. And I think that's actually what makes it really nice. So I'm going to put that away while we actually talk about this version first, right? First things first, let's talk about our really nice head sculpt, which actually didn't come out soft at all. Not soft at all. This actually came out really nice. They are two different eye colors. It's pretty hard to see here. Oh, there it is. A little better now. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but that is a really nice face sculpt. Is it the Mandible Studios? Is it as good as that? Probably not, but it is pretty close, and I think it's a lot better than that of the SHF. So that was a really nice addition here. The look of the arms aren't pale. It matches the skin tone. I think these are things that it's a lot of effort that goes into that, and I think this is, with all the delay, this is actually pretty nice. Now, in terms of the look of this going around, as you can see, it has that nice sleek look that you saw pretty much at the beginning of Infinity War and at the end of Thor Ragnarok. So it's definitely a good look. Now, let's jump into the articulation, my favorite part. So our head can look up. So this is very good for flight poses. This is something I very much want to know. Looking down shouldn't be too much of an option. As you can see, he can do it pretty well. Tilting side to side may be a little bit of an option that you may get frustrated with, because as you can see, that collar is going to get in the way. So you only will have a certain level of expression here. When you lift the head up, you can only go a certain length. So keep that in mind for that part. As far as our arms go on this upper torso of the body, we'll go over that articulation right now. We actually have a butterfly joint that comes out. This is definitely going to help you with any hammer poses or trying to flex in front of Hulk, right? Then we have how far it goes out, which, unlike Mafex Shazam, we actually get a very good arm movement and range going upward. As you can see, we extend pretty far upward. We can go actually pretty far around too as well. There is a bicep swivel, as you can see, that cut, and we have double jointed arms, which extend easily and very well. We actually have standard pegs that we use for Mafex. And you can see it can turn all the way around. Let's put this hand back on before I lose it. Upper torso wise, we actually get a lot of range of movement because this is so easily removable for swapping around your torsos, right? It's not swapping out the arms, because that would prove difficult, or after a certain amount of time, those arms will pop out and get loose. You don't want that. So we actually have a really loose fitting ball joint up top that cannot go backwards. Unfortunately, does not go far backwards, but does have a decent ab crunch going forward and can tilt side to side, as well as the lower torso doing the same, adding to that range of motion. So as you can see here, getting range should not be an issue on this Thor at all. Then we have our legs, which are pretty simple and straightforward. They use a small drop down method. You can go outward about this far, which isn't that far at all. Thor is not that flexible. Then we can go forward. Then we have our double crunch, but there's gonna be that leg mass in the way, so you don't get that really far double leg crunch that unfortunately we all kind of want. There is a thigh swivel as well. And as you saw, one of these nods that came out, this is gonna be for when you swap them around with the electrical parts, as you saw. I'm actually going to get into that later on. Hopefully I do not drop this piece on the floor and lose my mind trying to find it. So I'm going to try to plug that in very well. As far as the toes go, toes and legs, we actually have a little bit of forward movement, but we actually have a better backwards movement. we have inside and outside swivel, and we have a toe joint. Please be careful on your toe joints. There is a small rivet here. If you push it in, it'll push the leg further in, but it'll also warp out the toe as well. So please be very, very careful with that. Now that we've covered that part, right? Here's what's gonna get funny, because I wanted to do this 2 different ways and it's not gonna work out that way. So instead, I'm gonna move him to the back, right? Then I'm gonna bring out our other Thor to make this a little bit easier on me, because yeah, like I said, trying to get in the mood and swing of things. If you swap out your nodes, which are actually very easy to pop out because they give you tab pieces that allow you to release it up, when doing so, you actually can put these in. These actually are very nice and easy to tap in, as they have significant parts to show you which one goes where. As you can see, this one only has that shape. So you won't have any problem kind of having fun just popping them in with no problem. If yours are loose, just press a little harder in and you shouldn't have a problem. I really like this design and I like where they went with it. And this look of it is absolutely fantastic with the armored chainmail. Like I said, it almost gives him a completely different look, even though it is a slight cosmetic change, but almost gives him a completely different look. As far as our cape goes, I actually like the cape a lot. We have our nice red and black cape, which is actually wired on the outside and slightly wired at the bottom in the corners. It's mostly wired here. Now, on one of my Thors, I actually had a very heavy defect on the wiring. Mine's popped out almost immediately and caused a bunch of issues, which is why I'm showing this one. But I definitely did have a QC issue with one of mine. And as you can see, it curls up pretty well. So that means you should be able to get a lot of good poses out of this. Poses very, very well for a cape. So these are the kind of things I very, very much enjoy. Now, yeah. Now that I've gotten that out of the way with much ease, having to swap that out, that was actually pretty easy and I enjoyed that. Now we see that our Thors technically have 2 different hands. These are hands that both come with him. You'll have your open palm hands. Let me actually fix that. There we go. We have our open palm relaxed hands. We have our closed fist. We'll also get the open action hands that you'll see here. This one now you can't see because focus. There we go. You have 2 open action hands. And you'll get your axe holding hands for Stormbreaker. You know, when you need an axe. You'll also get 2 extra heads and some more lightning effects, which I'll get to right now. You'll actually get the eye patch head, which I think is really dope that they included that, considering, you know, Thor. And you'll get lightning eyes head, which I really adore this one. This can be used so many ways, because when Thor is using his powers, this would be nice. They didn't give him a yelling head, which I kind of would have liked, but you know what? We saw this almost a year and some change ago. It's whatever. We knew what we were getting. Then you'll also get 2 small lightning effects that will wrap around the wrist. I'm going to do it on this one, make it a little easier. And these just plug right on once you take out any sort of hand parts. Just plug it up. So when you are powering up your Thor of any sort, here you are, right? It's a really nice clean look. Comes on and off very easy. Next up, we have his actual weapon, Stormbreaker. This came out very, very nice. It's very simple, to the point, lightly brushed wood. I'm actually going to try to paint up one because I've been trying to acquire some painting skills. So I'm not completely useless in that. So yeah, this came out pretty nice. I also have another version with the actual lightning effects on it to show you just how cool it looks. You can actually take these off very easy. They just apply right on there. For those of you that are wondering on a sidebar, he can actually hold the Mjolnir, or Meow Meow, as some people will call him. You can hold Mjolnir very easily by just using the actual Stormbreaker holding hands. So for those of you that have one of any sort from any sort of import company or third party like Noda Studios, you should be fine using any one of these. This one is actually from the new cap, the final battle cap. And I also have one from a previous Thor. I believe it is Age of Ultron. And as you can see, he can hold them with no problem. So yeah. Now I'm going to put one of these Thors away. You had enough time to shine. Let this guy shine. And now we're going to jump into size comparisons. Another good favorite of mine. So let's jump into that. All right, guys, now we're going to jump into the size comparison. Yeah, I'm not going to do too many crazy Marvel comparisons, but I'm going to jump into the ones that I think are really important for everybody. I mean, you probably will get the gist of it because I've actually reviewed a lot of Marvel figures. You can always use those as reference. So yeah, let's jump into it. First things first, let's do the Hulk. As you can see, the Hulk is much bigger than Thor, but it looks pretty good in my opinion, size-wise. And not just size, just overall, the look of it. I think the Mafex blends well with the SHF stuff here. Here we are with Thanos, and as you can see, even if I move these guys up, actually, let me reverse this so these guys don't knock each other down. And yeah, I really like, even size-wise, up to the chest, looks really good. Really like where this is going. So let's take these guys away. Let's compare some other guys. Next up, we'll do the Mafex Iron Spider. And I really like the size comparison on this one. I think the size actually is pretty accurate. Here we are with the Final Battle Mark 85 Tony. I did not put on his helmeted head yet. I just kind of took him out the box and left him there. I'm not against this size. I think it's pretty nice. Here we are with Final Battle Cap. If we do all the Marvel stuff for right now. Thor is still bigger than all of these guys technically, including Tony, with the extra armored parts armored up. So that's a good thing. I know Thor is technically supposed to be the taller one, so this is good. Especially because Robert Downey Jr. is really small. Next up, we're going to compare him to your boy Tree. This is a Marvel Legends Tree, as we did not get an SHF one. Here's Trash Panda, the SHF version. And now as we have Trash Panda, the SHF version, next up we'll do the SHF Captain Marvel. And then a Mafex Black Panther. And I think that just about covers the gist of my Marvel stuff that I can compare these guys to. As you can see, Thor is pretty much taller than all these guys, which is pretty good. Last but not least, we're going to do a Thor versus Thor comparison. One being the Mafex and one being the SHF. So let's do that. I stand these guys up as straight as possible because as pictures have shown you, the SHF is technically bigger, which a lot of people did not expect. And mine stand, yeah, a little smaller than the SHF. But also looking at it now, because of parts like this and the extra neck joint, I think the Mafex is actually better proportioned and better looking. Has a better, fuller head. And then even if we get up close, we can see head sculpt wise, I really like the Mafex better. So I think Mafex definitely takes the win in this case. If you're going to do a direct comparison, if you wanted something taller, obviously you will go with the SHF. But I think overall better, we have a better figure in that being the Mafex. So now we're going to try some other stuff to compare to. So here is the 1000 Toy Synthetic Human. Here is SHF Kamen Rider Kuga, fan favorite of mine. Or should I say favorite of mine, period. Next up, we have a Marvel Legends 6-inch Cosmic Ghost Rider. I wanted to take some pictures of him, so I left him out. So he's the closest Marvel Legends I have. As you can see with a Marvel Legend, he is in scale with them, but not in scale with them, kind of so to say. Yes, he looks good with them, but does he directly scale? No. Here we are with Mythic Legions, and I think these are going to be like the best category to go with Thor when mixing and matching, because they're bigger than him, and you know Thor loves to fight big things, so this actually works out. And if you're going to use a smaller body, here is a 2.0 Mythic Legions body, in case you want to mix up your lore, right? Again, he is smaller, but with perspective shots, I think it works really well, especially if you have him fight any skeletons or things like that. So let's get rid of these guys. Oop, didn't mean for that to happen. As you see, we knocked out some nodes. But yeah, I think overall, I think Mafex is a very good winner here. I think we have something to look forward to. And despite the height difference and how it looks, I think proportion-wise and accessories, we have something that's overall really nice. I didn't have to, you know, go out and buy multiple Thors, even though I went and bought technically multiple Thors because I wanted 2 of it anyway. I want to have one of each look. Last but not least, here we are with a Lightning Collection Red Ranger. And while this is technically a 6-inch line, as you can see, scales pretty well with it, right? Really great piece, a lot of fun. Very low on the QC issues, which is fantastic. Only had 1 cape issue, nothing else too crazy, right? All in all, hope you've enjoyed. I hope you found this informative. And as always, guys, please be good, do good, drink your water. Later. Hey guys, one more thing that I want to add before I go. I totally forgot to talk about the fact that this item does glow under black light for the electrical nodes on Thor. I'm not sure if it goes for the weapons as well. So we're going to try the weapons and the nodes on at the same time. Let's try to use them and see how this looks. I'm gonna leave them here. Let's turn these lights out. And yeah, it looks like the nodes do glow in the black light as well as the electric effects. So that's pretty dope. Let's double check. Yep, it's all of the electrical effects. So if you are taking pictures in the black light and you want to test some stuff out, yeah, now is the time. It actually does not pick up very well on camera, but it definitely does glow pretty well. All right, y'all know the deal. Be good, do good, drink your water. Later.